So welcome to this GORS Day on a Wednesday. Today we had already a session this morning, and now we are talking about Power BI core competency dashboards. Yeah, wish me luck. So let's do it. I will go from the beginning. So the way normally I access my dashboards is through the 365. So I open my Okta, I open 365, and here I have the Power BI app. Those that if you don't have and you click in all apps, then you can see even those that don't appear on the other page. And then you can click on Power BI and this will open your Power BI. Back also on the 365, again, if you go and you search in the 365 for the GORS help desk, you can write GORS and then you click on sites and then you have a GORS global help desk. This will give you access to all links for all dashboard here on the use of GORS data. Or you can use here dashboard, this is the same link. So by clicking here or in the other icon, here you have the main core competence dashboards, the links. You have how you get your Power BI Pro license. That is not with us, but with the global ICT. So then you need to follow their help center instructions, and they will tell you how much it costs and what you need to do your order. I'm a bit I got a cold this weekend, so I apologize for all strange sounds that I'm doing, but I'm getting better, so I hope I can go until the end without my voice cracking too much. So we saw how to get your license. Here's a basic webinar that Himanshu gave some months ago. And here is if you want to learn to do your own dashboards. It's a really, really powerful resource. It's Microsoft. They have much, much more resource than us, so they did a good job here. It works if you want to create your own dashboard. But back to the other way to get to the Power BI, that it was using the 365 link. You click on Power BI, it will open your Power BI. So it will go with the most frequent used. But if you are starting, you can go in app, and then you can search. So for example, I would search GORS. And then it will show everything that it has in GORS. In my case, it seems that I have all of them. But if I didn't, I would just say get apps. It would load, and then you can choose the apps you want to have. So for example, I want GORS education, and then I can make a review if I want, but let's look at it first. Get it now, and then you have it. And next time you access, you just click on apps, and you have the GORS education. So back on the apps page, here you can see we have for education. This GOR Global, it's an old one, so we are not using now. It was the one trial created 2 years ago. So we use the one for the core competences. So education, ICLA, WASH, camp management, food security, livelihoods and food security, and shelter. Those are the Himanshu created. And to decide what put on the dashboards, actually, he worked with the core competency units. So it was a work, and he made consultation with the different people in the organization to decide what should be in the dashboards and not. Education and ICLA, they have one thing the others will have in the future, because you know it's a live project, so we are still developing it. That is at the first page, we'll have a table of contents with the links to the different dashboards. You can also go to the different dashboards by using the tab underneath it. So here you can see the volumes, you have by team, so you have alternative education, education and emergencies, the support beneficiaries and the youth programming. And then you have trends for the same team, so alternative education also, but this will be the trend line for some selected indicators. And this was done with the core competence team. But it's important that you give your feedback, because being a live document, the more information we have about your needs, the best for us. And then you have a more in-depth analysis, and you have tables. The tables is with the full data. You can use this table of content, and in each page you have the home symbol. So by clicking home, you go back here. And you have navigation that you can go back or forward. Now, in each page you will have this one. Another way of using is using by the tabs. So here, alternative education beneficiaries is the same as this one. So you can click here, or you can click here to access your dashboard. This specific page. So the page is loaded. I hope you can see it in your screen. What you have here is there are different charts showing for the learners enrolled, for example. You have the data of the total actuals is the green one, and the target will be the vertical one. This is in case when you need to present a data with for a management team meeting or for a donor report. Here you have the data. The charts are already pre-designed, yes. Normally, when you are in the country office, you have your country office here. If you are regional office, you have the countries of your region. Because I'm global, I'm with the global data, so I will have all the countries here to select the one I will see the data. So let's start with A. So Afghanistan. So now the dashboard's changed, because before I select here, it was for the full organization. And now here is only for Afghanistan. In your case, you will see this one if you have the country and you choose one specific area office. Then you see that the charts will change depending on the area office you choose. Targets and actuals. So if you choose an area office and you want to clear, you can click on it again. Or another way of clearing it is here on the top. There is this small symbol that looks like a rubber. That is a eraser. So you click here, it will erase the filter. So then it's showing all area offices again. You can go also for a specific project. So here are all Afghanistan projects, because I choose Afghanistan. So here you can see all Afghanistan projects. You can also disaggregate by gender. So if I click on yes, I will have 2 bars instead of only one. And then when I navigate on the top, I can see female and male. Same here, female and male. And what is being measured is here. So the green one is learners enrolled. Well, in my screen is green, but I think in yours is blue. Here is completing learners, is the black one. And here we don't have indicators for the red one, is why it's not appearing in this case. Same thing here. Here you have female, 12,489, more than the target. And here you have males for, here for individuals receiving non-food items. You would have also, you have the possibility of having households here receiving, but then because households quantity will be smaller, you have a small bar here if they have reported households, but it's not the case. And this go for all. So if I don't want the disaggregation by gender, I can just click here, and then I go back to the charts I have before. I can also go for displacement status. I don't know which one they use most in the Afghanistan. So yes, it was a good IDP. So here now it's showing me data only for IDPs. So if I go refugee, This is the data only for refugees. Host community. So you can choose, and you can choose more than one. If I want the IDPs and the host community, I hold the Control key, and then I can select more than one. Again, to clear my screen, I can click again here, or I can click on the little rubber that I could not see now. Just a second. Okay, and this one is not appearing, so I will have a look. Ah, here. This little rubber here is inside the frame, not outside, is what I was doing wrong. And then, and it's this one that I want to clear, actually. And then it appear all again, and then I'm not disaggregating anymore. And for the time, actually, now we are using a period instead of a date. So if you click on the number you have in the calendar format, or you can click on the bar and move it. It's less precise though. Clicking on the calendar is easier to find exactly the period you want. So imagine I want 2000 and I don't want 16, but I want January 2017. So I put from January 17 and I choose the period I'm reporting here. These filters is you can use in every page. You need to reset it. For this page is set on Afghanistan, but if I go for the next one, I will have to choose the country again if I continue doing on Afghanistan or in a specific area office. But the principle will be the same. Here will be the same indicators, but for education and emergency. And these goals for these 4 tabs will be like this. So as I said, I can go back using the arrow, or I can go home if I prefer to use the table of contents to find my dashboard. Any question till now? If you have any question, raise your hand and then we can make a small break, okay? So, this is for the volumes. So the volumes, you have the 4 teams, and here will be the trend lines. So, sorry, Citrix update is not the time now. Here we will have for the full data we have in the system for specific indicators. So learners enrolled, we are in alternative education again. What is it?
I'm sorry, Erika, may I interrupt you?
Yes.
Yeah, hello everyone. I just raised the hand, but you probably didn't see.
No, I didn't, sorry.
So my question for that parts that you presented is that these charts represent indicators which we have in the GORS system.
Yes.
They just named a bit differently, because I believe that completing learners is not an indicator, the wording of the indicators itself.
Now this will be the number of learners enrolled, for example.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so my question is for the time period, for example. For example, we report this mandatory or currently as well harmonized indicators on monthly basis. And if you select, for example, a time period like 1st of October or 13th of October, so how in that case we will see numbers for the October? If you get my point.
You want to see the numbers for in the charts, or you want to see the tables? Because we have tables also.
I mean, if, for example, we are talking about charts.
So I'm here, I want to see what was reported on the, actually I'm not sure. No, okay, it's the American format, so just a second. So October 2019.
Yes.
Yes.
So
you can see the period is going in the future because the targets, okay? Not the actuals, but yes, there is nothing reported here in October.
Mm-hmm. But for instance, if we take, okay, September, for example.
Do you have in Ukraine? I can change to Ukraine now.
Oh, let's check. We should have.
Yeah, this is education, is alternative education, so it's maybe not the best one for your country
Yeah,
program.
for education, yes, we don't have education.
So I will take the full organization. The full organization from the 1st of October, there's not too many data neither. But what do you want exactly with this?
Yes, so the idea, the question is, for example, if we choose the 1st of September, for example.
Mm-hmm. I put June only to be sure that some data, yes, we have
Yes.
some data.
And yes, we see some data as actuals. But if we select, I don't know, 20th of that month.
Uh-huh.
So you see my point.
Because, yeah, I see your point. We don't need the day. We don't
Yes,
need
we report on monthly basis, but not on daily basis. So that means if we select exact different days within 1 month, I mean, so the question is which numbers will we see?
This actually is a quite interesting question that I don't know. When we arrive on the tables, can we look it again?
Yeah, okay, no
Yes,
problem.
because I don't know what would happen actually.
Yes, okay.
I would imagine that we need to select, if you select one day in the month, it will appear the data entered for the month, but I don't know. So here we have, for example, let's say that instead of June, let's put August because it's when people reported. So if I put here the 1st, yes. So this is most likely the T2 reporting, but then I need to finish also in 2019. So this would be only for October. No, from August to October. So I change it to August itself. Yeah, the data of August, if I put the 1st August until the end of August, is showing 13,054. I imagine that if I no, it didn't work. So I will ask Himanshu and see what happened with respect to the date. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
And if it's generating confusion, then we can also change it. So this will give me, thank you, Alexi, it will give me the opportunity. Your hand is still up, but now it's good, huh? Okay, thank you. So it will. This one gave me the opportunity to show a magic button that is extremely important because I show you how to reset using the eraser here, but you have this one, reset to default. If this one appear yellow, it means that somewhere in one of the dashboards and in one of the filters, we have something selected. So the easiest way for me is instead of looking one by one and correcting here, when I want to start from the beginning, I click reset to default, reset, and then everything will go back to what was before, including the dates, you see. This is not the best option if you have already selected part of the filters. But for when you want to correct everything, clear all selections, or you cannot find out what was selected that is not showing you the full data, this is the best way to go back. You can see that now it's not yellow. It's because we have no filters on my report, so it disappears here. But if I put a filter again, then it will tell me that I have a filter somewhere here. So I'll go back to the trend, the cumulative trend charts. So here you have also target and actual, and you can see exactly the date, the data by navigating on the top of it. And you can see this from 17, first quarter, and then here is going by quarter because the data in Power BI also is organized by quarter. We need to see if we can do 3 annual reports in Power BI. This will be for the next development. I'm just taking some notes. Because as I said, it's a live document, so we need to, we need to develop it over time, and you will help us. So back to the tabs here. Now I can or go back to the main menu by clicking on Home, or I click on the small arrow here to see the next tabs. So here you have for the other teams, so it will be youth programming and individuals or institutions receiving no food items. And all these indicators actually were pre-selected, but we can develop one more tailored for a specific need of a country office or a position in the country office. And this, again, you can choose the country you want to see the data, the area office, you can drill down, drill up. This one, you don't have the gender, though. So you have the options, sorry. You have the option to go down by using the menu. So you can choose, for example, sex here. You can choose if you want male or only female or only male. If you choose both, they will not be disaggregated, though. You need to filter here in this case. But you can have a bit more detailed trend charts by using the different filters that are available. So for the disaggregation will be displacement and sex, basically. But you can take the charts for a specific project. In this case, since education, I would go for NURAD if I would find it. Let's see it in NMFA. Sorry, I was too quick. No, 2017, we don't have youth programming. But you know, in your projects, you can go specific in a project that will show you the data you want to see. Again, I have something selected. I don't know where it is. Here it was a project, so I could clean by clicking on the eraser. I could have a use reset to default. This is for the target versus actual. This one I found it quite cute because it will show you the total beneficiaries across thematic areas. So for example, learners enrolled, targets and actuals. The target is always the vertical and the actual is the horizontal. Sorry. It will show the green one is alternative education, then you have education in emergencies, the youth programming. So you can compare the beneficiaries according to the different teams in your core competency. So if I put again on Afghanistan, then I have nothing pity. This one you can choose also by donor. So here it was clicked, is why I could not see the data, so I unclick, so it's good. So for example, I could go for NURAD. We know that they love education. Then I would have for NURAD funding what we had in education across the different teams. So most of the projects they finance will be in alternative education, a little bit in education on emergencies. And this is as all NURAD grants for Afghanistan between 2018 and 2020. You see the data change because it's the dates of the when it was starting to be reported. I still need to clarify about the day, but this one I will come after as a follow-up for you. So, so after the across thematic areas, we will have cash and vouchers. Also by education program, by different programs. Here again is for the full organization. You could select your country or a specific area office in your country. And you can go by project, by donor, by gender, displacement status, depending on the data you are looking for. The principle is the same, all pages will behave in the same way. So you can see that now I have an arrow in both directions, because here I can go back and see the main page, and this one is to go to other dashboards or tabs. So this one. Then it come the tables for output and outcomes. So this is the part of the tables is interesting because you can have, so you can choose for, I will stay with Afghanistan because it's A is quite practical. You can choose by donor, what were the indicators, or by project. So I could go, let's take one this year project here. So, I just need to check if the project will be, let's take SIDA. SIDA, normally they do everything. So, okay, SIDA 1906, AFFM 1906. Here I can see everything that was reported this year for this project with the target actual and the percentage of the target that was filled in. And this can be used for quality control of the data, even though I suggest using the other dashboard because it's more complete. But the tables will give you everything for all the data that was entered in education for your country office. So I'm back showing we were looking the two final tabs on the education dashboard. So here the same also, if you have to prepare on a report, for example, on the indicators for a specific donor, you can use it here, you can choose donor. And one thing I didn't made from the beginning of the presentation, you can put a full screen mode, and then the spaces are better distributed here. Then you get easier for to see the donor and the project. I want the NURAD because we know they love education. And then you can, like doing this, you'll be able to, gosh, you can see all data for a specific donor if you have to prepare a report for one specific donor. So let's go. For example, this is all NORAD funding from 2015 to 2020 is the targets. I could go here and take only for this year. Oh, sorry. And then I would have all the data we have on education for, why June? From the 1st January until the end of the year. I could do this also if I was a regional office. I could have it for all the countries on my region, for example. So when I choose Myanmar also, so then is adding up Afghanistan or Myanmar and Myanmar. This would be for the regional offices. So here I have all the NORAD funding for Myanmar, for example. You can see my list of countries got smaller because at the moment I selected the donor, it is telling me only the countries that this donor has projects with these education outputs indicators reported. So then you can see in DRC, always with the percentage of the target. And our last tab will be for the outcomes that most likely will be less data from 2015 is okay. Here again, you have targets against actual. You can have the breakdown by gender, but when you put a disaggregation, then it becomes a table instead of chart. So if I take out the disaggregation, it will go back to the chart. So I'm back in Afghanistan, only because it's A, is easier to choose. So I put the disaggregation displacement status. If I choose I will have only the IDP. If I choose, I hold the control key, then I can have more information. In this case, it changed nothing because most likely everything is recorded under IDP. So I click on the eraser to go back up on my no displacement status for this chart. Again, if I wanted this to become a table, I just put disaggregation by female and male. So by principle, the other dashboards will be following the same structure. So if I wanted to see another dashboard, I would go in my apps. If I don't have in my list, I would get apps, and then I would search in all apps available and to find the dashboard I would like to use. Again, as I said before, sorry, the ICLA dashboards and education dashboards, they have a table of content. The other dashboards, we are still developing it, so you need to follow the tabs underneath it. So here will be the same with HLP and different teams for the access and the IDPR and all the different teams we have in ICLA. And the same principle, you can see here was pre-selected Iraq. Here is yellow. I can reset it for default because the Power BI will remember you when you go back. So you will have it going to the same country that was chosen before. Here I have for all countries and all area offices because I didn't choose a specific country. So here you can see that is a bit more because you will have for all area offices and all country offices. So in my case, I'm better off always choosing a country. So let's go back to Iraq to do it differently. I have for the different area offices, so the actual and targets. Here you can see the top bar is female and the bottom is male. So here first will be female and then will be male. If we don't want with the gender, then you have only one bar here, but in this one, I don't think you can choose actually the HLP beneficiaries across geography. The principle is exactly the same. You have the period, you are looking the report, you can use some disaggregation, you can go by project, area office, or you stay at the country level. Do you have any questions? No doubts, no question, any clarification? On the 3rd October, I had scheduled also to have this GORS Day on a Wednesday. And my idea is that since I will be talking again about the dashboard, but this one will be for quality check of GORS data with the criteria we'll be using for the 2019 reporting that we'll be doing beginning next year. I will do the same session in the morning as in the afternoon. So then people from Colombia and from Myanmar both can join without having to wake up too early or go home too late. So just that you know, next time it will be the 2 sessions will be the same, and you can choose morning or afternoon. Okay. So feedback, questions, doubts.